Hello, everyone. Welcome back. This is no view from the sidelines. Uh, this is no debate. This is just an opinion because we're all allowed to have opinions on different platforms, supposedly. So this is my one, and I'm going to get right into it. Pablo Fornals, is he overhyped or is he underappreciated? Now, for me, this is my opinion, and I look at Pablo Fornals as a good player, but I think he gets massively overhyped for what he does. Like his work rate aspect of things is, to me, not not for me really. If I'm honest, I think we could have any other player in there. Lanzini could do that job, what he does. Do you know what I mean? And runs around and whatnot. So is he overhyped? I believe so. I believe he works hard, but he's got no end product at all. He's very lightweight on the ball, and yeah, I just don't see how this man gets the recognition from a lot of people when some people basically get criticised for having a shot from outside the box. So yeah, he's been with us 3 years since Pellegrini, and let's be honest, he's got a bit better, but has he really got like? Does he go and play for any top six club? Does he go and play for a Man United? Does he go and play for a Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal, etc.? I don't believe so. I don't believe so at all. I don't think. I think what we paid for him. I think we paid £25 million for him. I think that's really what he's worth. I don't think his value's gone up. So yeah, I look at it this season. He's done okay. I wouldn't say he's been a well beater though. Like he's missed some golden chances for us, but that's my opinion. I'll do it all sort of like pluses and minuses aspect. Right, he works hard. I'll give him his due. He works hard. He gets around the pitch. He gets stuck in. He stops people from. He breaks the play up. What else does he do good? Um, he starts attacks. Well, I've heard this one coming out of the woodwork that he starts attacks. He makes the play up, or he sets the play up, so to speak. Now, yeah, I'll give him that one. Now, I'll tell you what he does bad. He can't finish to save his life. Um, he's very lightweight on the ball. Uh, if he gets tackled, he can easily lose the ball and get dispossessed quite easily, and then people are running through. He's not a winger, so I don't know why he keeps being bunged on the left hand side of an attacking four, in my opinion. Um, can't work that one out. Like, yeah, he's a good player. He stops the play, he breaks the play up. But going forward, is he really an attacking threat? No, no. And if we have got players in our team, i.e., Declan Rice and Thomas Suchek, why do we need another hard-working player? Um, what else does he do that I think is not justifiable? I think his passing is hit and miss. That's another thing I will say. One day he can be really good on the ball, passing the ball about, uh, and he's excellent. Another day he's passing all over the place. Do you know what I mean? And like he'll keep passing to like the pass will be too short, too long, or whatnot. So yeah, to me, I think he's overhyped myself. I think there's players who we could go and sign uh, for a well, blimey, West Ham Online agrees with me. If anyone wants to come on, inbox me and they're more than welcome to come on. Um, and yeah, I just look at it like this. I think to myself, as an attacking midfielder, because that is what he is, right? Let's not kid ourselves or say that he ain't something, say something he is and he isn't. He's an attacking midfielder. He scored 3 goals and 3 assists all season. Now, to me, in 31 games, that is like to me, that's if people are saying that is acceptable, then I'm sorry, but that's not. Like he doesn't go and get in any other top team in the top six. He don't get in Leicester's team, in my opinion. When you look at people like Madison there, Harvey Barnes there, etc. He don't get in Tottenham's team, I don't believe. So I just look at it like this. Yeah, he's a good player, but do people like blow smoke up him a little bit to say that he's a great player? Like he's a valuable asset to the team. Now, to me, I just don't see it. I just do not see it. I try and see it. I try and give him the benefit of the doubt. I try and say, you know what, this guy's is good. He's good on the ball. But sometimes I just watch the game and I don't watch. Pablo Fornals, and sometimes I watch Pablo Fornals and not the game. And what he does off the ball is he makes space. I'll give him that. But then the end product there, like, let's put it this way: if Antonio don't score, Bowen don't score, and Soucek don't score, we don't score no goals because Pablo Fornals is an attacking player. He's not a defensive player. People have said to me today on a different platform that Declan Rice has only got 1 goal and 1 assist, but Declan Rice is what it says on the tin. Like Declan Rice is a box-to-box defensive midfield player, right? Thomas Soucek is a defensive midfield player and he's got more goals than Pablo Fornals. How is that? How can people say that is valid? In my opinion, like no one can really say that is valid. So I don't get it. I really don't get it. I don't understand it. I think it's this hard-working myth, yeah, is a bit overused, to say the least. So yeah, that's my opinion on it. I just think that like if Pablo Fornals is a good player, but he's not the Iniesta that people have been making out him to be. I think there's a lot of flaws in him. Like sometimes he goes missing in games where he's nowhere to be seen, and it proves it at Brighton. The amount of like he has a chance, he's trying to do fancy flicks and all that. Now, if that is anyone else in the team, and I'm not naming no names, they get criticised for that. They get handed and criticised on social media and everywhere, right? Because they have a shot from outside the box. I'm sorry, but I just can't work that one out. Like, if it can't be one rule for one person and one rule for another, like it can't. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, like he makes us play better, but then sometimes you've got to look at it, you've got to weigh it up. Do we really play better on that left-hand side? Because when he goes forward, he's not really a threat going forward. He's never really in the box when where we need him to be. And 3 goals and 3 assists in 31 games. I'm sorry, but if that's just not good enough. That's just not good enough, and I just don't see it. I just don't see it. I might be wrong, right? And I can admit and I can say it openly if I'm wrong. But let's be honest here. He doesn't go and get in any other team with them stats. Like, do you know what I mean? Off the top of my head, I'm trying to think of a player, for instance, who, like Gylfi Sigurdsson, for instance, is exactly what he is. Do you know what I mean? But he scored goals this season. Let's have a think. Who else we got? Like the best way of describing Pablo Fornals, and that is he's like a John McGinn. And basically that is the reason why he gets the recognition. He plays like John McGinn. He gets about the pitch. And if West Ham was to go and sign John McGinn, for instance, you're getting exactly what the type of player that you're what you're getting. Do you know what I mean? What I can't understand with anything else is basically you're easy to sort of complain when one player who's been here for 1 season hasn't done it, and when someone else comes into the for a bit of criticism, they don't like it. I'll take some comments. No idea, mate. Maybe they don't like when someone sort of, what's the word, backs up an argument and they have to, or whatnot. No idea. It's up to them. Thoughts on the Ben Rama hate? And do you know what, mate? AFTV10 has just put it brilliantly. People have been saying to me, it isn't hate with Ben Rama. It isn't hate. It isn't hate. Ben Rama has kept a few people quiet over the last sort of few days, and he will do again. He will keeping these people quiet because he's a talent. Do you know what I mean? He's young, he's fresh, he's new to the league. You've got to respect it for what he is. This is his first season in the Premier League. There's players in the West Ham team who basically haven't performed, and they've been here 3 years or 6 years. Do you know what I mean? In certain ways. So yeah, at the end of the day, it is what it is. And yeah, so to sort of get the to end it on the Fornals thing. I would do, mate, but at the end of the day, I've got no. He'll have to message me. I'm afraid I can't do it via on the phone. So yeah, his goal against Ben Rama, Ben Rama's goal was a great goal, but he's been trying that all the time, and people criticise him for having a shot from outside the box. Like his shots going over the bar, his shots doing this, his shots wherever. So, like, the man can't win either way, in my opinion. But to go back onto the Fornals thing, the best way of summarising it is, for instance, if Seema was to turn up in the summer, and we sign Seema, we sign Lingard, we sign a striker, right? I would like to see Seema on the right, Bowen on the left, because he's left-footed, right? So he can check in and check out, right? And basically see a more attack front four. Like I'm going to use it as an example, right? Manchester United's, and I'm not comparing teams, but Manchester United have two defensive midfield players, Pogba and McTominay, or McTominay and Fred, right? And then they have a flat four of speed on either wing, i.e. Greenwood, Rashford, Bruno in the middle, and Cavani up front. Do you know what I mean? That's a frightening front four, and that's what West Ham should be, a frightening front four. I will give Fornals a bit of credit on one thing. When he plays against the big six, he's effective because he sort of counteracts their sort of threat because he's that good at sort of nipping in and getting the ball. But against teams like Burnley, Brighton, sometimes like the lesser teams, I don't think we need a third working hard box-to-box player. We've got two, right? Do you know what I mean? Otherwise, our West Ham just playing a 4-3-3 system because that's what it seems like to me. It seems like when they're in possession, it's a 4-2-3-1. When they're out of possession, it's a 4-3-3. And yeah, I just look at it like that. Really, if I'm honest, I've got people's opinions vary. People's opinions vary on it at the end of the day. And hold on, let me do this. Right, what we got here? Let's have a look. At the end of the day, people's vary on Pablo Fornals. Now, I've spoke to people who absolutely love this man. Oh, Pablo Fornals, great, amazing, everything. Yeah, you don't know what you're talking about. I've seen people like myself who said they don't get the hype. They don't understand the hype. They don't understand the reason why he plays in certain games or whatnot. And because we have one bad game, like I'll use the Arsenal game as an example. This is the best way of describing where we need Pablo Fornals. In the first half against Arsenal, we blew them away. We scored a few good goals in that game in the first 30 minutes. We was 3-0 up, and that was brilliant, absolute brilliant. We conceded a goal just before half time, and I think with Fornals, he's the sort of player you could bring on to do a job. Yeah, but I don't see how him starting affects the team. I really just don't get it because that means you're basically relying on three people to score the goals. Like really, and to me, it just makes no sense. Like when you're playing a front four, yeah, they're all at it. You know what I mean? Not just like it proved it the other day. If Antonio's not on his game and Lingard's not on his game, where the goals coming from? Like it's a man who comes off the bench who scores the goal who gets us the point. Do you know what I mean, Ian? It is difficult to establish what is his strongest position. I think Moyes plays him on the left to cover our problems left back. Unfortunately, he needs to run in number 10 role to improve the stats. Do you know what, mate? I like Ian. I do, because he talks sense. That is a perfect summary there. Whoever's watching this, that's a perfect summary of where what people see in Pablo Fornals. Now, is it because, and I'm going to bring someone in a minute, is it because that we've got a poor left back, supposedly, is the reason why he plays on the left-hand side? Because he gives nothing on the left-hand side going the other way. He can't cross, right? Or you put one good ball and everyone rave about it, and then the next thing you go, you know what? Oh, I don't know, right? He won't even hit the first man. I agree with Ian on that comment. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
You right, mate?
Yep,
What's occurring?
not much. I've just been listening to what you've had to say on Fornals.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I agree with you. I thought against Brighton, I don't know if you'll agree with this, but I thought he should have had 2 goals. I think when he's in the final third, he's too slow on the ball when it's time to shoot. And
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, he just can't finish very well. I think he's decent in build-up play, but his finishing, I just don't know if it will ever be good enough.
Do you think he's overhyped or underrated?
I think for a period of time he was underrated, but now he's definitely not because everyone seems to be calling him underrated. And if everyone rates him, then he's not underrated. I think what you say about where he's got 3 goals and 3 assists, I don't think that would be acceptable in most other top 10 teams.
See, the thing is, I don't understand this, right? This is why I am very opinionated and I will not so much bite back at people, but I can't have it that when people, and I will bring Ben Rama up into this, Ben Rama has a shot, people go berserk saying, why is he shooting from there? Pablo Fornals has missed open goals this season. He missed an open goal against Spurs. He's missed X amount of chances to score a goal this season, but people say that he's the next big thing. Like, I just don't get it. I'd like you to tell me if I'm talking crap. I'd rather someone tell me I'm talking crap or someone tell me I'm talking. You know what, James? You've got a point. Do you know what I mean? So, what do you think, mate?
Yeah, I do agree. I think even though Benrahma has less goals than him, I do think he's a better finisher. And his goal against Brighton that he scored on Sunday, that Fornals would not have been able to score that goal. And I think there's been a few moments, like you just said, against Spurs, he missed a big chance. Wolves, he had a sitter from about 4 yards out and blazed it over the bar. I just don't think he's a very good finisher for Fornals, and I think with a full season, Benrahma would probably beat him for goals, and he does need to do more in the final third because I've seen people today say that he should start no matter what, which I think is ridiculous.
Yeah. Let me ask you this: if Ben Rama scores 2 goals, right, towards the end of the season, Ben Rama will be on 5 assists, 3 goals, and if Pablo Fornals don't score no goals, who's had the better season?
Oh, I think I'd have to say Benrahma if that happens because when I've seen Benrahma play, I've mostly been impressed. I thought he was horrific against Everton the other day, but I also thought that Fornals should have scored 2 goals against Brighton. So I don't know. I feel like Fornals has been quite overhyped, and if I don't want to go too much into him, but I feel like 25 million for him was actually not as big as a bargain as some people say it was.
I don't know. 25 mil for a young player that if we get 2.5 years out of him, I know that we could sell him for the same money, if not a bit more, in 2 years' time. I look at Fornals where he don't get in any top 16, in my
Yeah,
opinion. He don't get in Everton's team. He don't get in Leicester's team. Uh, like he might get in Wolves' team because they play that similar style of play, but like I don't see him getting in any other major team in the Premier League. Now, what is Pablo Fornals' best position? Because he's not a winger, in my opinion. What do you think his best position is?
um, I don't know. I wouldn't even. I'd say it's more of a centre mid, but he likes to play attacking midfield. So I don't know really. I think maybe a box to box is probably his best position because he's not bad defensively. He does the hard
Mm,
work and he does start attacks well. So yeah, I'd
mm,
say probably box to box. But even then, he has his flaws in his game.
mm. And let me ask you this, yeah? For stats wise, and people say can go with stats and without stats. Like people say Ben Ramos had no shots on target, or he's had the worst shots on target in the league. But it's his first season. Like that's what I keep saying. Like give the geezer a break. It's his first year. Like and whatnot. What stats should Pablo Fornals be recording at West Ham, considering he's been here 3 years, and next season will be his fourth year at West Ham?
I feel like if he was getting 6 goals, 6 assists, let's say, and he was doing the defensive work he's doing now, then he'd be brilliant because he's getting a fair enough contribution, and he's doing his defensive work.
Mm,
So I think that would probably be good enough.
yeah, yeah. Do you know what? I agree with that. Like, I think if he was getting over 5 and basically going around that sort of way, then yeah, I could get it. Uh, it's one of my friends. He's not overhyped at all. If anyone is overhyped, it's Ben Rama, 1 goal and over 32 attempts. Yeah. Remember one thing though, Clara at Newham. I will say this: Ben Rama might have just kept us in Europe, mate. So do you know what I'm saying? Ben Rama's been here 1 season. Pablo Fornel's been here 3 years. And if Ben Rama scores 2 goals, Ben Rama's had a better season than Pablo Fornals. Because the
Yeah,
stats will prove that. So, do you know what I mean? I don't want to get into the Ben Rama thing because well, I'm at it on Twitter, I'm at it on YouTube with people thinking like um, I don't know what they're thinking really. Like the geezer's been here 1 season, like and people are like are hounding this geezer because he hasn't performed like prime Pyatt. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
So I don't get it. But to sort of go on to Fornals, uh, how much would you say his value is?
Uh, 20, probably 25 million, 30 million.
So
Uh,
his value really hasn't gone up
no,
since he's been here.
I wouldn't say it has. If anything, I'd say it's probably could have gone down because he's older now, and we were signing him as an up and coming player. So I think right now it's probably 25 million.
Mm, yeah. And Joe, next season, and I said this before you come on, if we sign Seema and we sign a striker, uh, we sign a few players, does Pablo add? Well, first of all, does Pablo Fornals get in his team if we sign other players? Like, especially if we're playing a 4-2-3-1.
Um, he'd find it difficult. I don't think he's as likely to get in the team as some people are saying, like West Ham Central, who I saw
Mm,
earlier, Forge from Irons didn't put Fornals in their lineup for the game coming up against West Brom, and Central was going mad about that. I think personally, if we can sign a winger who can do any bit of defensive work and gets more contributions than then Fornals will probably find it difficult to get in the team.
right, and then, to sort of finally end it on this, yeah, is Fornals on the left hand side because Cresswell can't isn't it leaves Cresswell exposed? Like if we sign a decent left back at the club, is Fornals needed?
I I don't think it's that because what I think it is, usually when Fornals plays. and Ben Rama's playing as well. Ben Rama will be on the left. He didn't when he came on against Brighton, Ben Rama, but I'm not sure why. I think Moyes doesn't like Bowen, who usually starts. I don't think Moyes likes Bowen on the left for some reason. So I think that's what it is. But I personally think Fornals is better on the right. From when I've seen him, like he was very good against Burnley. He was probably our best player against Everton. Then he is on the left. I can't remember seeing him put too many good performances when he's played left mid.
Yeah, I agree. I don't. Do you know what position I thought he was very good, and I really did think he was good when he slotted next to Souček. I thought he was right there. I thought when he
Yeah,
dropped deeper, he looked better. He looked like he could get amongst the ball and get the ball out, a bit like Lanzini was. I just
yeah,
don't see it on the left hand side because when he gets the ball on the left, people double up on him, stop him because he's got no pace and he
yeah,
can't beat a man, and that is the problem.
yeah. Do you remember against Brighton as well on that pace thing? He done a really nice flick around someone, was through on goal, but it was just like he was running in cement.
Yeah, yeah, and the finishing aspect of him. Uh, well, I don't know what the stats are on it, and I really don't. But is this season one of his best seasons for stats wise for us, or is this season like goals ratio, or like he's
It's
got
the
no
most goals
assists?
he's scored in a season for us.
Yeah, so he scored 3 goals. That's the most he's scored in a season for West Ham. Do you know what I mean? But when you look at how many attempts he's had on goals, he should have about 7 goals, shouldn't he?
Yeah. Oh,
Really?
yeah, definitely. I think his positioning actually seems to be quite good. He seems to always get the chances. He just can't put them away. I don't know what it is. He seems to slip over as well a lot when he shoots.
Yeah. How would you rate him this season? Fornals out of
Um,
10. If you was to give him a rating, I know what I'd rate him. Because I'm not going to criticise him fully, and say he's been absolutely scandalous, but I will be real, right? Like a
yeah,
lot of and some people can't handle realistic people by the sounds of it. So, what would you rate him out of 10?
6. Um, I'd say he's been decent.
Cool. You're,
6.
you're more you're more harsh than me. I was going to give him a 7. I
No,
was
I'd
going to
say
give him a. You
I
know what I
I
mean?
think I feel like if I was to give him a 7, then
Yeah.
I'd have to push some players up to an 8 who have been better than him. But then again, I don't think they're 8s, if that makes sense. So I think 6 to 7 is probably about where it is. But I saw Central and a few others earlier saying that
Hmm.
he's their hammer of the year.
What? He's their hammer of the year.
Yeah,
That is. I'm sorry, but I don't know who these fans are. I'm an old school West Ham fan, mate. The player of the year for me is Cafal. Like 5.4 million, new to the league, first season at the league. It's Cafal all day long. How can anyone say Pablo Fornals? Mate, I'm never going to get into it. Oh yeah, I'd give him a 7. I just want to answer this comment from my best mate. Uh, Fornals, for me, gets away over criticised. He links our midfield and our attack well, and probably he's the only one who does. Right now, I'm not disagreeing with that. He does link the play, right? He does link the play. Now, I'm not disagreeing with him, right? But, and there has to be a but here, right? You have to criticise him when he's missing chance after chance from 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 yards out, and like he can't get a shot on target. And then when Ben Rum has a shot, people are going mad and saying, "Why is he shooting from outside the box all the time?" So you can't have one rule for one and one rule for another. Like I like to ask Claret this: tell me, give me your criticisms of Fornals. Then, if you're saying that you're praising him, I want to hear what you are gonna say to criticise him, because I can praise him. I can say he gets about, he works hard, he passes the ball from time to time well. He links the play well, but then I can also criticise this geezer and says like he scored 3 goals and 3 assists, and for an attacking midfielder, because that is what he is. If you go on any sort of site, he's not a defensive midfielder. Um, you could argue, with this, and maybe you might agree with West Ham Online, yeah, that he's a central midfielder, isn't he? You could
Yeah.
say he's not your attacking, he's not your defensive. He's like your 4-4-2 central midfielder.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, he's like that, isn't he? He can play on the left, the right, but he's definitely more attacking on paper, position wise, than he is defensive. So I don't know why people say he's a defensive midfielder. I don't get the bit as well. When I was reading earlier, I asked them why he's their Hammer of the Year. I'll come to that in a minute, the Ben Rama finishing thing, but I was asking them why he's their Hammer of the Year, and they said one of the main reasons why he's Hammer of the Year is the goals don't matter to them. It's the fact that he's run around a lot.
Yeah, but this is what I can't understand, right? This is what I can't understand. Yeah? And I know me and Claire have had a few things on YouTube and all that. Now, do you know what I mean? I'll give him his due. He give it to me. I'll give it back to him, right? Now, that's what it's all about. Now, how can anyone say about Ben Rama's shooting stuff? I want my players to be shooting. I don't want my players to be walking the ball in the net. I want them to be shooting from anywhere and everywhere, as long as it's on target, like, and not like Mikel Antonio, who shoots from like with 4 defenders around him and it's a seagull on, like, you know what I mean? That's just not good enough, right? Now, if he's shooting and he's getting it on target, he's making the goalkeeper work. And in my opinion, I think that's the right thing to do. So I could be wrong. What do you think on that before I move on to other comments?
I think Ben Rama's finishing is definitely better than Fornals because even though he's got less goals this season, all you have to do. And I know people are going to say it's a championship, but some of the goals he scored last season were ridiculous. And even when you look at Fornals before he came to West Ham, I can't remember him ever scoring a goal where you'd say, "Oh, what a finish!" It was just he's just not one of them players.
What do you think of this comment here from Ian? Let's want to get into this one. Do you think it's fair to alternate Fornals and Ben Rama, depending on the opposition, of course, taking form into consideration as well? Now, I look at the pair of them, yeah. What Ben Rama does going forward is a lot better than what Fornals does going forward. Like, he can beat a man. He's good on the ball. He's good with both feet. He's a bit lightweight, besides Fornals. Right? What Fornals does work rate is better than Ben Rama. A lot better than Ben Rama. But when Ben Rama gets the ball, I feel something's going to happen. When Fornals gets the ball, I don't. Like, he gets the ball. Like, he had a shot against Burnley the other week, and he's hitting this ball, and it's always sort of scuffing it, or he's off balance, or it's just always something with him. I don't know what it is. That's just me.
Yeah.
What do you think on that comment there?
He falls over every time he shoots, doesn't he? Which is hard. That I don't know how. I've never even seen anyone like that before. But I do think maybe the alternate thing would be smart. But if Ben Rama is in the form that I hope he's in next season, then I wouldn't see the point in it.
Yeah.
But right now, like for example, against West Brom, I don't really see the point of Fornals starting, and people are going to criticise me for that, but I feel like Ben Rama.
What's your front four then? What's your front four? Antonio, Lingard, Bowen, Ben Rama, is it?
Yeah, that's my front four because I just think we don't really. If you need defensive players against West Brom, something's got to be wrong, and Ben Rama's definitely better at starting attacks than him.
Well, there you go. I think you've just hit a nail on the head. Bang on, right? At the end of the day, I want my team to be going forward, not. Why do we keep worrying about the opposition when we should have 4 strikers or 4 attack-minded players who, well, especially 3 of them? I'm not going to say Antonio's fast, but he's mobile. He can get about. He goes through players and everything. But yeah, I agree with you on that. I really do. Hammer of the Year, Kafal, I agree. That's something you both agree on for once. I do too, but for me, the biggest criticism of the Fornals and Ben Rama I have is their finishing. Fornals would have more assists if Ben Rama did finish better. I'm sorry, mate. Clara, are you trolling me, mate? You've got to be trolling me.
I can't remember Fornals ever setting.
I can remember one game. I can remember one game specifically, right? I think you know what game I'm going to say, West Ham Online. Palace away. Yeah. Go back to Palace away. Ben Rama should have had 4 assists that night. if Antonio learnt how to put the ball in the net.
Yeah.
Like, it easily, like the Arsenal game, Ben Rama skims the defender, gets the ball across. Mikel Antonio again, it's the post.
Fornals,
Like,
the Fornals would have more assist things. The thing for me, I can't remember Fornals creating many chances. I don't know if you can, but I think even his 3 assists were mainly because the players who he gave it to did well with it.
yeah, do you know what? That's a good point. That is a very good point, and that is. I can't remember the last time Fornals assisted a player for a goal. He will start play up. I get that, but yeah, like, do you know what I mean? Well,
The only one I will say was against Burnley when he assisted Antonio who made an absolute mess of it and hit his other foot. But even that
yeah,
was a scuffed shot. Like he was not meaning to
yeah.
pass that.
Fornals has had 3 or 4 good games. That's it. I agree with Scott. I think that I personally think in the summer we could go out, we could find a player who could score more goals than Pablo Fornals and do the same job as Pablo Fornals quite easily. But really, Ben Rama and Bowen should be compared as they're the same player, where Fornals isn't the same player. And Ben Rama, for me, Fornals is a.
Are
Well,
you trolling him, Barrett?
he is a utility player though. But Fornals can do a lot of jobs. Now, I agree with him on that, right? But one thing, let's put it like this: if Pablo Fornals is your number 10, can you see him making chances for you as your number 10?
No.
That's the best. That's the best way of describing it. I've got Kent in the house. Right now, I respect Kent a lot, and sometimes he agrees with me, sometimes he don't. We're going to see what he says. Fornals works hard and does a great job for the team in the midfield and as well. He's underrated job, but in the final ball and finishing must improve. I think he needs to have one position. I couldn't agree more. Now that's quite a valid point there, right? He's in every position, right? Going like he's a DM 1 minute, he's a box to box player another minute, he's a winger. Fornals could end up end up being a victim or being able to cover a lot of
Yeah.
spots. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, that's
yeah.
often the case, isn't it? These
But
players
I
who
want to
can.
ask Kent. I want to ask Kent this: if Kent was picking the team, where would you put Pablo Fornals? Because I don't see him as a winger. Number 10, I think there's better players there as number 10. So where would you pick him? If Kent's still here, I'd like to hear it.
Would you start him against West Brom, James?
Not really, mate. For me, I look at it like this: if we win the game, we're in Europe.
Yeah.
Right? I look at it, go at West Brom, get a couple of goals up, take off Ben Rama, bring Fornals on, shut the game down. That's a professional performance, in my opinion. Like you watch this video, go out, Fornals gets that trick, but yeah, and you know what I mean? I'll be getting trolled for that. Let's have a look. Because we want to defend scoring isn't an issue. As a poor defence for me, Fornals helps that. Yeah, well then, buy better defenders, Claret. If you're saying our defence is poor, why don't we buy better defenders? Do you know what I mean? Why are we like our defence hasn't really been that bad, right? Forget before Rice got injured, our defence was pretty good. I believe. Do you know what I mean? I might be wrong, but yeah. I can't recall Fornals making many chances either. No, and you might be able to enlighten me on this West Ham Online, but he builds the play up though, doesn't he? This is
Yeah.
what I keep hearing. I keep hearing it from a lot of people. Yeah, but James, he builds the play up. Now, I want someone to sort of tell me what that means in building the play up. Like, because to me, Thomas Souček builds the play up. Declan Rice builds the play up. Like they all build their play up at one stage or another.
Yeah.
So
I
yeah,
thought that was the job of a footballer to get the ball up the pitch. The only
yeah.
2 chances I remember him making, bar his assists, off the top of my head, was the Ben Rama header against Everton and that one I was saying, the scuffed shot that he had
Mm.
against Burnley.
Mm. Kent says here, Pablo starts in a normal spot tomorrow, but Benrahma starts as of next season. He replaces Noble for me. Yeah, but Kent, can you tell me though, mate, really, where you think Pablo Fornals' best position is on the pitch? That's what I would like to hear. Um, that's okay, mate. I know you got to go, and I'll catch up again with you soon. Take care.
Season.
So yeah, I'd just like to hear that. Like, so before it gets rounded up, because I'm going to round it up in a minute. I agree. I would buy. Blimey, Clarence agreeing with me. I agree. I would buy another 2 central defenders. Honestly, I would play Benrahma and Fornals for me. We are better with the both of them starting, but I want both of them to improve finishing. Yeah, but if we're going to do comparisons, yeah, to Pablo Fornals and all that, Pablo Fornals has been in the Premier League for 4 years next season. When the new season starts in August, September time, whenever it is, he'll be here 4 years. Benrahma's been here 9 months. Like, you've got to give the geezer. If I'm doing this next season, right, and Benrahma hasn't improved, I will openly come on here and I will say, you know what, I got it wrong. I got it massively wrong, and I will take the L and take the stick that I will get. But I don't see how people can compare for me, if in my opinion. So yeah, that's just me though. Do you know what I'm saying? Ian should not need Fornals to defend from midfield when we already have 2 DMs. I agree, mate. I really do. I really do agree with you, mate. 100%. I think we've got the best DM in the country in Declan Rice by a country mile. I think he's young. I think when he's fully fit, he can do a job of 2 players. Right? I think Souček, when Rice is there, is a threat going the other way, and he's also good defensively. I don't think that we should be having another DM in there. Well, he's not a DM. Pablo Fornals is not a DM for me. He's just an like Kent's going to tell me now what he is. Like I need to know because like I don't get it. For me, Pablo should be a central old school number 8 position. I agree. I agree, Scott, with number 8. I agree. Right, here we go, Ken. I think it could be central midfield, James, and use his normal position. When needed, he's in the team for his work rate. Benrahma are completely different players. Yeah. Now, do you know what? I agree with you there. Yeah. Central midfield. Right, he's essential, but we don't play a central midfield system, so to speak. When we are attacking, we are a 4-2-3-1 system. Now, with Fornals, and I do agree with you on that, with a central midfield thing, I do agree with Clara and Scott with the number 8. I think he is a number 8. I think he gets about, but the end product isn't great, in my opinion. Now, if someone can say to me that his end product's decent, like, yeah, he builds up play and all that, I understand it. But for me, you know what I mean? You've got a geezer who's going to be here for 4 years next season, right? He ain't going to be sold. So next season he'll be here 4 years. And let's be honest here, has he changed or got better? He's got more what you said, Kent, and I agree with what you said. Moyes is putting him into so many different positions. We don't know. He's a jack of all trades, but master of none. And that is the best way of summing him up. He's like you could put him in a DM position, he'd do a job. You could put him on the wing, he'd do a job. You put him as a number 10, yeah, he'd be good. He'd do a job. Do you know what I mean? But all these positions are not benefiting him, so to speak, because he's not. I'm not seeing the best of him in any sort of shape or form. So, yeah, I think as a 10, not for me. He don't get enough assists for me. I do got another comment here. I do feel Fornals and Benrahma get the most grief when you look at it. Fornals has had a better season than Bowen. Has he though? Really? Has Fornals had a better season than Bowen? Bowen's got how many goals? I will say one thing, and I will agree with one thing, that there was a spell between December to the end of what was it, the end of January to the middle of February, where Bowen went missing. Bowen went completely missing and wasn't performing. And people said it was tonsillitis. Some people said it was something else. And yeah, it was. I agree with you there. See, the thing is, we should all be positive about it. We're all West Ham and we're all following the same, like pushing the same boat. But I think sometimes criticism on one player, and there's other players who's been here longer who should be more experienced, in my opinion. So yeah, let's have a look at this. What we got here? We've got Pabs is a dream David Moyes player. He has had many like him over the years. I agree. Leon Osmond, Stephen Pienaar, amongst two at Everton. But the only thing I will say, Ken, and I do agree with what you're saying, is that do you think it's justified to criticise one player for one thing, and when another player does the same thing, they don't get criticised? Like, i.e., if Bowen has a shot, it's no. If Bowen has a shot, it's okay. If Ben Rama has a shot, it's not okay, etc. So yeah, Ben Rama gets in for me in front of Bowen at the moment. Well, we'll see. We'll see tomorrow. I did like this today, I must admit. I'm going to wrap it up now. I enjoyed everyone's in the chat. They was all respectful. They weren't throwing abuse or anything. Do you know what I mean? We're all West Ham at the end of the day. We've all got opinions. And yeah, it was good to have West Ham online on. He's in the know with everything. So yeah. But I like to do these sort of shows to round it up and basically to say, like, don't have one rule for one rule for another, because to me that's not really fair. A question to everyone: if we've got into the Conference League and we won it, would we count that as a cup as fans? Most of us fans don't count the 1999 Cup. I can answer that quite clearly. We can't be picky. Well, I haven't seen us win a trophy in my lifetime, and I'm 34 years old. Like, I've seen us been 30 seconds away from winning the FA Cup. I've seen us get knocked out by Wigan, get knocked out by Wimbledon. So if we go into something, into a European competition, and we end up winning this European competition, we've got to respect it for what it is, yeah, and then improve on it the following year. So yeah, that to me is my answer on that. We can't be choosy, picky. If we're in something, we're in it to win it, and we should be treating it like that. Because to me, that's not really sort of. I don't want to see that mentality. I don't want to see this mentality at West Ham no more. I've seen it for a long time. People getting the ump because do you know what I mean? We're West Ham United. We've got no given right to say what's acceptable and unacceptable, but we can when there's players who, and there is the hierarchy upstairs, moaning because they don't want to spend no money. Do you know what I mean? That's true. I agree. For me, I agree. From any cup is why I'm so annoyed when we play at a B side in the League Cup. Yeah, I agree. I've seen us get hammered. Right, I've seen us go to Wigan and get hammered. I've seen us lose to Wimbledon. I've seen us lose 4-0 against an Oxford United team. Sorry, yeah. So to me, we need to strengthen first. Before we think about winning anything, we need to compete. And this season, we've been working with 13 players, as good as 13, 14 players. And when you look at our bench, you can see who's coming off, who's getting subbed. And you, as a West Ham fan, and probably West Ham fans watching this, who's going to watch this, and everyone around the world, we all know who's coming off before the ball goes up. And that, to me, is not a good sign. We should have more players coming off the bench, and more players, more squad depth. And it is an issue, and it needs to be assessed and sorted out in the summer for starters. So yeah, I agree. I was going to end up this final comment from Ken. Of course, it's a European trophy. You get in Europe next season. In next, if you've in it, major trophy still. We need 6 to 8 players in summer. I just said that. I agree with Kent totally. 6 to 8 players are needed, and not just 6 and 8 players who, for the sake of having 6 and 8 players, they've got to be the criteria of what Moyes wants to go with next season. Because we need reinforcements. We need Yarmolenko gone, Anderson. It didn't work out. I wish him well, but I don't think he's a Premier League player. He's too lightweight and he gets bullied off the ball too easily. Lanzini, I think he could do a job. And Noble's final season, Fabianski's last season, next season, and all. So yeah, we need some squad depth. We need a goalkeeper. We need a left back. We need a centre half. We need 2 strikers and a midfielder, and that's just for the starters. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I'm going to wrap it up now. I want to thank everyone who's watched this today. I've enjoyed the chat. It's been respectful. It's not been aggressive. I'm not in it. I'm not on this hate train of like hating players, but I like to get opinions. I'm an opinion-based bloke, and I like to hear what am I seeing, what they're seeing, or are they seeing what I'm seeing? And it's nice to sort of get an insight into players and what people see in the player. Do I think Pablo Fornals is a good player for West Ham? Absolutely. Do I think he does a good job for West Ham? Yeah. Do I think he needs to improve? Definitely. And that's no joke. I do think he needs to improve on a lot of things, i.e. he's finishing for starters. Like, if you're playing in that attacking role, he needs to be burying chances that he's basically getting. So yeah. So I'm going to end it on this now. I'm going to be doing a preview later on today, 7 o'clock tonight. I've got a couple of lads from a podcast. Check it out. They done a great podcast the other day with Sean Whetstone and Baz Cox. The podcast people are called the Bowling Boys Podcast. So check them out. They do some good stuff, I must admit. I really enjoyed that podcast, and Baz went at Sean with quite a few facts, and he's bang on the money. So yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. I'm going to let you all go. Take care, and I'll be back soon.